PHP sign. Then in here, I can put $X. But for you to be able to see, remember, I need to use echo. So it means display $what? X. Now, so that X can get to 10 and stop, over here, I would say $X plus plus. So that X will increase by 1 every time it goes round. So when I come to my design and then I run my code again, I expect to see something happening. They are telling me that I have an error. So let's go back to our code. You can see it's telling me that X is undefined. So let's go back to our code. So it is telling me it is undefined because at this stage here, when the program is starting, X does not have a value. So here, I'll just say $X is equal to what? 1. Now, when I come back to my code, I will not have an error. And you can see it is displaying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I want it to display up to 10. So here I'll make it 10 or equal to 10. So that when I come over here, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see that the rows are expanding for me. Note, I just wrote it once. I'm telling it to repeat it 10 times. So it is repeating the same thing 10 times. But every time it repeats, it will take whatever value I have over here as X and then put it over here. And then run through. And then do it again and again and again and again. Now, the beauty of this is that over here, I can put, for example, X here. Here, I can put, for example, 2 here. Over here, I can create another column and put inside that column equal to. Then over here, I can copy this again. And then over here, I would say, please echo out this times 2. And I'll save. And when I run this code again, I'll have 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 3 times 2, 4 times 2, 5 times 2, 6 times 2, 7 times 2, 8 times 2, 9 times 2, 10 times 2. The first column and the second column are the only ones which are being dynamically manipulated in the background. But the first column, the second column, and the third column and the fourth column are static. You will not know if they are static or not. Because if you come and click here and you go to, you come and right click here, you go to view source code, you will see this, that. You are seeing them being drawn. 10 times this is that. But in my code, you don't see them being drawn. I am using the PHP to design my table, to manipulate my table, to control my table. Are there any questions? Wonderful. So if there are no questions, then let's connect to a database. We said that to connect to a particular database, or let me not do it here. Let me do it over here. So let's connect to a particular database. You said that to connect to a particular database, you need your PHP tag. And then you require the host, which is local host, the user, which is root in our case, the password, which is nothing in our case, and then the database name. In which, in our case, the database name is, what is the database name? Let me check. So here I have localhost, phpMyAdmin, why is my phpMyAdmin taking so long by that? Give it 1 second, please. I have an error, which means my MySQL is off. Let me put it back on and start again. Let me make the page a bit smaller. And then my username is going to be userdb. So over here, the database name is userdb. We said that these are the parameters that are required by the database. These are the parameters that are required by the database. Hence, over here, I have MySQL, I have con, I can call it connection, MySQL, I underscore connect. And then in here, I'm going to put the host, comma, the username, comma, the password, comma, and the database name, which is DB name. Now in here, I'm going to do some things. What am I going to do? I'm going to create a table. In here, I'm going to say tr, td, td, td. And then here's going to be hash. Here's going to be name. And then over here, I'm going to put email here. We are going to copy this. And then in here, we are going to repeat everything we did here again. So I'll tell the computer, put a PHP tag here. And then, first of all, we need to run something in the database. So we need a query. And what do we need to run in the database? We need to go and select all from the users table. So when I come into my database, we can see that I have in the user BB, have the users table. And inside the users table, I have username, email. Of course, I don't want to display the password. So I just want to display username and email. Note that there are three things here. So in here, that is what I want to do. Now, run the statement in my database. So I'll say result is equal to MySQL I underscore query. And in here, I'll put in the connection to the database, which I'm calling connect. And I'll also put in the query. Now, I'm going to tell the computer that whilst row is equal to MySQL I underscore fetch by association, whatever you got in result. Now, this code here is very, very interesting. It is saying that over here, I went into the database and fetched some information and took some information and collected some information. Now, the information in which I went and collected the information in which I went and collected. Go and put it over here. And when you put it here, align them as a table for me using association, which means that you are aligning them in a way whereby if I want to refer to them, I can refer to them using what they are associated by. For example, username, email, password. I can fetch them by their association. Remember, the fetch is not only by association. I can fetch by array, which means that if I'm fetching by array, I need to know which item is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to know. But sometimes it's difficult to know. That's why I'm fetching by association. So you see that in this while statement, what I'm generally doing is that when it fetches everything here, you can see that on my page, I've written a code over here. Select star from users, like how I wrote on the code. So you can see that this is what it has fetched. It will fetch it line by line. So I'm telling the computer, when you fetch this one, put it in something called row. When you fetch the next one, put it in something called row. When you fetch the next one, put it in something called row. So technically, if there are 100 things there, whilst there are 100 things, fetch each of them and put it in something called row. So over here, I'm going to do hash. Over here, I'm going to tell the computer that with the PHP tag, display to me, so echo what you found in row in the column called username. I'm going to tell the computer again that display to me the item you found in the column called email. So now if I run this, I won't see anything. Why won't I see anything? Because my rows column starts here and end here, which means these two will not run because they are not going to be recognized by this statement here. That means the curly brackets has to start at this position here, and then the curly brackets have to come down here and continue at this section over here. So you can see that it starts here and ends here. That means all of these things will be repeated as this is going along. Why am I not putting it at the end of the table? Because I want one row to be created. The row starts from here and ends here. That's why everything is around the row. So beautifully, if I come here and I change the name of the folder, so let me click the name, and I come in here, I have this. So yes, where is that? So on my page, I can see hash name that. But of course, the lines for the table has not come, and they have not come because inside the table section, I didn't bring border is equal to what? 1. So that if I run it, of course, the border lines can come and it will look more of a table. So you can see, I have YOLO admin that, I have those things. And these are the things which are inside the database. I've brought them into my form. Now, over here, it doesn't make sense that each of them is hash. The hash is there to show a number and the heading. So here, I need to put something else here. So over here, I would say $I is equal to 1. Therefore, at this place, I would say my PHP tag echo out $1, $I. And then at the bottom here, I'll do $I plus plus so that I can increase by 1. So that when I come in here, I'll have this. Are we okay? Are we okay?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Now, if I was to do this, and then in here, I just do some utterances over here. Of course, it means that all the code here has to be inside. Oh, sorry. Inside the body tag. So that at the top here, in the head, I can say link REL style sheet, and then href style.css. Then we end this here. and I come over here and I refresh this, and I get that. The leap from a beautiful application to what we are doing is not that large. To build a proper web app, you need your HTML, you need your CSS, you need your JavaScript, you need your PHP to fetch the information. But when the information comes, it's in the HTML format. You need to know how to manipulate it to get what you want. And with a bit of CSS, look at the design of it. When we arrive here next week, we are going to build a shopping application for people to shop. No, let me rephrase. We are going to build a checkout application so that if you come to a shop and you're buying, let's say I'm buying 4 tomatoes, then you key in 4 tomatoes, for this, for that. And when you press it, to generate the receipt. So you will print out the receipt, you will give it to the person can take the receipt and go. We are going to build all of that. The information will go into the database so that you can retrieve it in the future and know what did this person buy, then it tell you what he bought and all of this.
Oh, okay, sir.
You need to build confidence. You need to practice. You need to go over everything we have done. There is no shortcut. I wish there was a shortcut. If there was a shortcut, I would have done it. There is, in programming, there is nothing, there is no substitute for practice. And let me repeat, I am one of the laziest persons you ever meet on this earth. I am lazier than you guys. If there was a shortcut in life, trust me, I will take the shortcut and then I won't have to suffer. There is no shortcut. There is the long cut. Then once you realize that at a certain point, everything becomes easy, so easy enough that if you want to use external tools, you can use them and you'll be so happy. But till then, you are now learning. Learn. Learn. My dear students, learn. The external things don't matter now. Okay, some of you there, you have external things which matter. But proportion time for everything. Learn. God bless you all. Thank you for coming. We'll meet again next week. I'll make the video available in a few.
Okay, so sir, please can. Okay. So maybe we have to go through the let's say the recording again, so that maybe we might.
Yes, go through the recording again. And if you have any issues, let's let me know.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. But sir, is it possible we can get the code of it?
I will send you the code also.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bye.